Hey there, and a good old rally ho! Welcome to this video on Scholar! Woo! This video will go a rundown of Scholar's abilities, the fairy, and how to help with mass pulls. Especially at max level. Right. Let's start with the bread and butter of Scholar's healing. We got Adlo. This provides a basic heal and a shield. We were also fortunate enough to get a crit. When Adlo crits, you will be given the base Galvanize, which is the base shield, but you'll also be given Catalyze, which is the crit shield. The crit shield is a separate buff because it interacts differently with other parts of Scholar's kit. Adlo is your main heal, especially at level 80. At lower levels, you will be using a little bit of physic every now and then, but you will be switching over to Adlo as you go up in levels. You won't need to use physic anywhere near as often. In fact, I almost never use physic anymore. But they're both single target heals, and physic is just a base heal while Adlo gives the shield. Succor is your AoE healing shield. As you see, good one on me and my chocobo. Gotta love the chocobo. Handy for thing. Right. Both Succor and Adlo interact with emergency tactics. Basically, emergency tactics will turn the shield into a heal instead. So, you do Adlo with emergency tactics, you'll get a double heal. Once you get that, physic really starts running down in usefulness because Adlo just heals a lot more, especially if it crits, because you get a bigger potency heal by far. And emergency tactics with Succor is just your AoE heal. These are useful for quick healing rather than mitigating healing. Right, Aether Flow can only be used in combat. As you can see, it's now usable. And once you use it, it gives you a 1k MP back. Oh, hold on. And with Aether Flow, you will now have access to a lot more abilities in Scholar's kit. Right, these abilities are Lustrate, single target high potency heal, Sacred Soil, 10% ground mitigation AoE, as well as a regen from 78. Another ability is Indomitability. Gotta love all the abilities. And this is a instant cast off global cooldown heal. Very useful, very quick healing burst. Right, Resuscitation attained in 74 will guarantee the next Succor Adlo to be free casting as well as a guaranteed crit. Will also make Indom and XCOD free, like don't cost a single Aether Flow. Deployment Tactics allows you to deploy a single shield onto party members based around that target. This will only work with the Galvanized shield, not the Catalyzed shield. So this is very useful for Basically, it's your best shield mitigation right there, is just deploying an Adlo. Right. Swift cast just makes your next cast instant. Lucid dreaming is your other MP regen. Asuna is Asuna for debuffs, getting rid of debuffs. Resurrection is your revive, just getting up dead party members. Long cast on it, so do beware. Anyway, just gotta go in for Aether Flow. Right. X-Core is an ability that will have two ways to trigger. Basically, if the timer runs out, it will go off, or if your target's HP goes below 50%, it will also go off automatically. Right, this is a very potent heal, and it gives you a lot more leeway for just dealing a bit more damage. Or if a warrior or a gunbreaker gets reduced down to below 50% through Honganging or Super Volley, it will immediately proc them back up, which is really nice for those situations. It's a bit more finicky with Dark Knight because you don't want to put X-Cog on them until after the living dead is being procced, and at that point you need a burst heal, right? And X-Cog might not be the best one to use. But X-Cog is a very useful ability, especially just for giving you more breathing room. Right, short cast is your prevent knockbacks and pull-ins. Feel free to just use that for when those come in. Right. The fairy, I gotta put this away to just see. Selene and Eos are exactly the same no matter what. It doesn't matter which one you have out so long as you got one of them out. You absolutely want one of them out. Alright. You can place Selene around the battlefield. And then if you need to call them back, press heal. The reason why you want to be doing this is the abilities they can use, other than Embrace, that you make them use, are targeted around them. So they're an AoE around them, so if you place your fairy properly, you can make sure it hits everybody, even if you're off dealing with a mechanic or something. Right. The abilities you can make the fairy use are Whispering Dawn, which is an AoE regen. And just to prove that it's around them. And Fey Illumination, which increases healing done to them. Right. Aether Pact requires Fairy Gorge, and you get Fairy Gorge every time you use an Aether Flow ability in combat. So just get in combat. As you can see, it's going up, and it's 10 every time you use. And once you target a party member and you use Aether Pact, the fairy will tether, concentrating healing on that target. Right, chains. Rescue is a course that can only be used in combat. It basically draws a party member to them. Don't grief with it. Just use it for when you know the party member is going to be hit by something that they can avoid, but they're not going to do it in time. Just drag them out. The last boss of Holminster is a good example. If they get knocked up in the air once, you can use rescue the moment they get down to just drag them to safety. Right. Gonna wait on the fairy abilities. Anyone come back here? Right. DPS wise, you've got bio or biolysis for single target dot, and you got broil and ruin at really low levels for single target just hitting. Our war is an AoE based around due damage. So, like, I could be over here, not hitting. You need to be up close and personal to hit with Art of War. And I always go, Falcon Punch! Right. Right. Chain stratagem increases crit hit rate against the target. This applies to your dots after it's applied as well as your single target hits. Right, now we got the fairy abilities again. Right, at level 80 you get access to Summon Seraph. This changes your fairy into Seraph. Right. Seraph has access to its own versions of Illumination and Whisper and Dawn, but it also has access to Consolidation. This is an AoE mini sucker, and you can use it twice in quick succession. Seraph only lasts for 20 seconds, unfortunately, but it's a good way to just ease out pulls as well as just extra mitigation. These shields buff stack with Galvanize and Catalyze as well, so you do not overwrite them with the Seraph shields as well. So feel free to use that. Right, just need. Right, one last Flow ability, Energy Drain. This costs an Flow stack, and it gives a minor heal, minor MP refresh, and it's useful for if you know Flow is coming off cooldown and you got stacks left, you can just use them quickly to gain a bit of Fairy Gorge. Flow's on a minute long cooldown, so you got 3 stacks to last that time, unless you use another ability I'll explain in a moment. The last fairy ability costs 10 Fairy Gorge, and it's Fey Blessing. And it's a quick heal. It's on a minute cooldown. So it's a very quick heal and just heal up a little bit faster. Alright, the last ability you're gonna go through is Dissipation. Right, it can only be used in combat, so do bear that in mind. You don't want to use it unless you're out of Aether Flow stacks and you need more. Because what happens is it sacrifices your fairy, it gives you increased healing, and it will give you 3 Aether Flow stacks again. Once the timer has run out, which is 30 seconds, it will give back your fairy. All Gorge that it has will be, it will still be there, so don't worry about that. You're not wasting resource. But do bear in mind, you do not have access to any fairy abilities, so that includes Seraph, Illumination, Whisper and Dawn. So It's more for quick offense during change stratagem windows in optimal settings, but during dungeons, do bear in mind that you don't have a fairy doing embrace, which is just a small heal that it randomly does to whoever. You can't control embrace at all, but you can't do Whisper and Dawn, you can't do Fey Illumination, you can't do Seraph, and you can't do Fey Blessing or Consolidation when you have Seraph out, obviously. So weigh up the pros and cons with using Dissipation at that time. Use it only if you really need stacks at that point. Right, now gonna go over how to handle like multiple mass pulls in dungeons. Right, as you start, this is, I'm gonna assume this is level 80 stuff because that's where you have access to every single ability. Take away any abilities you don't have access to just yet. Right, start off with Recitation and Adlo the tank. This will give them a crit shield as they're doing their pull. As they're doing their pull, on the first set of mods, get Biolysis on them. This will allow you to immediately use Vapor Flow. As you're doing Vapor Flow, as you're doing the Biolysis and as you use and when you use Vapor Flow, you want to put X-Cog on your tank as they're still pulling. This gives yourself a bit of a buffer. Once they have finished pulling everything, quickly place down a Sacred Soil. And then for the first pull, feel free to just use Seraph, use Whisper and Dawn, get the healing going, Illumination, and then Consolidation, and then just weave in Art of War during all of this, because you're just going to be AoEing. So just do that. Yeah. What, and just continue Art of War spam until the X-Cog has worn off. After the Art of War has worn off, add low again. At this point, you should be the mold should be getting closer and closer to dying. So keep up the Adlo. If you're finding healing being a bit hard, put down another Sacred Soil and you should be close to having another Aether Flow. If you're running out of MP, you're Lucid Dreaming, obviously, just in case you are having to spam that much. But you shouldn't really need a second Sacred Soil during the first pull. Most dungeons don't hit that hard that you need that many Sacred Soils going. And if you don't need that second Sacred Soil, energy drain. For the next mass pull after the first one, again do the same with, if you have Recitation, put the crit Adlo, if not just Adlo. You should have X-Cog back again. So put that back on the tank as they're doing their pull. But this time, once the tank has finished pulling, Sacred Soil and Aether pack them. And then go into our wall spam until the X-Cog has worn off. And then also pay attention to how much HP they have. If they drop below 15, then go into Adlo. If you are struggling with healing, use emergency tactics. If you have bad teammates who are just standing and stuff, do quick succor, and then just go back to Adlo. The tank is your priority, not the other teammates. If they should not be standing in stuff. They shouldn't be standing in stuff that will lead them to their death. It's their own fault if they die during that stuff. And again, yeah, once you feel comfortable, just art wall spam if there's a lot of mobs. If there's not a lot of mobs, biolysis. Just spread biolysis and then do art wall. If there's only one mob, broil. Scholar is a decent amount of fun for me. There's a few things I would love to have back on Scholar, but with Scholar as it is, it's alright. It can definitely be improved. I hope you've all enjoyed this little video on Scholar. Hey there, Seraph, and I will bow out here with my lovely Seraph. Thank you.